Ever wondered why Microsoft Excel seems so complicated for beginners? Well, we're here to simplify it for you. Excel is a spreadsheet program that's part of the Microsoft Office suite. It's a powerful tool used to create and format spreadsheets and analyze and share information to make more informed decisions. Excel is versatile and can be used in a variety of fields. In business, it aids in tracking data, building models for financial analysis, creating professional charts, or even organizing client databases. In education, it helps teachers track student performance and create intricate graphical representations of data. For researchers, it's a handy tool for managing and interpreting data. Its wide-ranging applications have made it an essential skill in today's digital world. Whether it's about managing personal budget, doing complex calculations, or organizing big data, Excel can do it all. So, are you ready to become an Excel pro? Let's dive in. Excel might seem intimidating with all its tabs and buttons, but don't worry, we'll walk you through it. Let's start with the ribbon. It's the strip at the top of the window where most of the magic happens. The ribbon is divided into tabs such as Home, Insert, and Formulas. Each tab houses groups of related commands. For example, the Home tab has groups for clipboard, fonts, alignment, and so on. And if you're wondering where the Save or Print options are, they're under the File tab. Next, we have the Formula bar. It's just below the ribbon. This is where you can enter and edit data in your selected cell. When you click on a cell, its content appears here. You can also see the formula in a cell rather than the result of the formula. Now let's move on to the status bar. It's at the very bottom of the Excel window. It displays useful information about the currently selected cells, such as count, average, or sum. So far, we've discussed the ribbon, the formula bar, and the status bar. But what are we entering data into? That's the workbook. Think of a workbook as a binder that holds related worksheets. When you first open Excel, you're working in a new, unnamed workbook. Each workbook contains worksheets, the grid-like spaces where we enter our data. A worksheet is made up of rows and columns. The intersection of a row and column is a cell, and this is where your data lives. Each cell has its own address based on its row number and column letter. And there you have it. You've just been introduced to the key components of the Excel interface: the ribbon, formula bar, status bar, workbook, worksheets, and cells. Now that you're familiar with the interface, it's time to get hands-on. Creating a new workbook is as simple as clicking a button. Let's show you how. To start, you'll want to open up Microsoft Excel. Once you're in, look towards the top left-hand corner of your screen. You'll see an icon labeled File. Click on it. A drop-down menu will appear. From this menu, select New. This will lead you to a new screen with a variety of templates. For our purposes today, we'll stick with the basics. So just click on Blank Workbook, and voila, you've created a new workbook. Now let's give our workbook a name. Look towards the top of your screen again, but this time, focus on the center. You'll see a bar that reads Book 1 or something similar. This is the default name that Excel gives to new workbooks. However, we can easily change this. Just click on the bar and you can type in whatever name you want for your workbook. Maybe you're tracking your monthly expenses or compiling a list of your favorite recipes. Whatever it is, give it a name that makes sense to you. All right, we've created a new workbook and we've given it a name. The last step is to save it. Go back to that File button we used earlier. Click on it, and from the drop-down menu, select Save As. This will open up a new window. Here, you can choose where you want to save your workbook. Maybe it's in a specific folder for work, or perhaps it's on your desktop for easy access. You can also choose the file type. For now, let's stick with the default .xlsx format. Once you've made your selections, click Save. And there you have it. We've walked through the steps of creating a new workbook, naming it and saving it in a specific location. Now you're ready to start inputting data, applying formulas, creating charts, and so much more. But don't worry, we'll cover all of that in the upcoming scenes. There you go, your first Excel workbook is ready. Entering data in Excel is quite straightforward. Let's see how. The powerhouse of Excel lies in its cells, those small rectangular boxes that form the grid of your worksheet. To enter data, simply click on a cell and start typing. Once you're done, press Enter or move to the next cell, and voila, your data is in place. But wait, there's more. Excel isn't just about entering words or numbers. It's about the variety of data types you can input. Let's delve a little deeper into that. First off, we have text. This is what you'd use for entering words or sentences. You can type in anything from names, addresses, descriptions, and the list goes on. Remember, Excel treats anything that can't be used in mathematical calculations as text, including numbers that are used like text, such as postal codes or phone numbers. Next up, numbers. These could be whole numbers, decimals, percentages, or even fractions. Excel is smart enough to recognize these, and you can use them for calculations, or even to create charts and graphs later. Then we have dates and times. Excel has a unique way of dealing with these. It actually stores dates as sequential serial numbers so that they can be used in calculations. January 1st, 1900 is serial number 1, and today, March 10th, 2024, is a much larger number. Time is also stored as fractions of 24 hours. Enter a date or time into a cell, and Excel is flexible enough to let you display it in various formats. Finally, we have Boolean data, which are simply true or false values. These are typically used in logical statements, and we'll get into more of that in future discussions. Editing data is just as easy. Click on a cell, make your changes, and press enter. If you make a mistake, don't worry. Excel's got your back with the undo function. Data entry is the first step to creating powerful spreadsheets. And now you're well on your way to becoming an Excel maestro. A well-formatted spreadsheet is easier to read and understand. Let's explore Excel's formatting options. Diving right into it, one of the first things you'll likely want to adjust is the font style and size. Maybe you're a fan of classic Times New Roman, or perhaps you prefer something a bit more modern like Arial. No matter your preference, you can easily customize the font style and size in Excel. Simply select the cells you want to adjust, and then navigate to the Home tab. Here, you'll see options to change the font style and increase or decrease the font size. Now, let's add a splash of color. Again, select the cells you'd like to adjust. You can change the font color by clicking the letter A with a colored line beneath it. A color palette will appear, and you can choose any hue that tickles your fancy. Not only that, but you can also adjust the cell color by clicking on the paint bucket icon. Select a color, and voila, your cell now has a background color. But what if you want your text to sit just so within the cell? That's where text alignment comes in. You can align your text to the left, center, or right of a cell. You can also adjust the vertical alignment to be at the top, middle, or bottom of the cell. Just look for the alignment section in the Home tab. And finally, let's talk borders. Borders can make your data pop and help to delineate between different sections of your spreadsheet. To add a border, select the cells you want to outline, then find the border button, which looks like a square made of dotted lines. Click it, and you'll see a range of border options. Choose the one that suits your needs, and there you have it. With these formatting options, your spreadsheet can be as professional as you want it to be. Formulas and functions are the heart of Excel. Let's understand them better. When you think of Excel, you probably imagine a vast grid of numbers and data, but it's the formulas and functions that bring this data to life. They're like the engine under the hood, powering your spreadsheets and turning raw numbers into meaningful insights. So, what exactly are formulas? In essence, a formula is an equation that performs calculations on your data. It's like a mini computer program you write directly into a cell. Excel formulas always start with an equal sign equals, followed by a combination of numbers, cell references, and operators such as plus, or minus. Let's explore some basic formulas. First up is the sum formula, which adds up a range of cells. Suppose you have the sales data for a week, and you want to calculate the total sales. You'd simply type equals sum, followed by the range of cells in parentheses, like equals sum A1, A7. Hit enter, and there you have it, the total sales for the week. Next, we have the average formula. As the name suggests, it calculates the average of a range of cells. It's similar to the sum formula, but instead of adding the numbers, it computes their average. For instance, to find the average sales for the week, you'd type equals average A1, A7. Then we have the max and min formulas. Max finds the highest value in a range of cells, and min does the opposite. it finds the lowest value. These are great for identifying peaks and valleys in your data. Now let's move on to functions. You might be wondering, aren't formulas and functions the same thing? Well, not quite. While all functions are formulas, not all formulas are functions. Functions are predefined formulas that perform specific calculations. They save you the trouble of having to write complex formulas from scratch. To use a function, you type its name followed by an opening parenthesis, the arguments you want to calculate, and then a closing parenthesis. For example, the count function counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So, if you want to count how many days of the week had sales data, you'd type equals count A1, A7. Functions can be as simple or as complex as you need them to be. There are hundreds of functions in Excel, each designed to do something different. From financial calculations to text manipulation, from date and time calculations to statistical analysis, there's a function for almost everything. Mastering formulas and functions is key to becoming proficient in Excel. They allow you to automate calculations, analyze data, and make predictions. They're what make Excel a powerful tool for businesses, researchers, students, and anyone else who needs to crunch numbers. With formulas and functions, you can automate calculations and save a ton of time. Visual representation of data can be very powerful. Let's learn to create charts in Excel. When we talk about charts, we're referring to a graphical representation of data. Charts can transform columns and rows of numbers into visual elements, such as lines, bars, or slices of a pie. This makes the data easier to understand and interpret. In Excel, there are several types of charts to choose from, but today we'll focus on three basic ones: bar charts, pie charts, and line charts. Firstly, bar charts. They are ideal for comparing data across categories. Each bar represents a category, and the height or length of the bar corresponds to the data value. To create a bar chart, select the data you want to represent, then choose Insert from the menu, followed by Bar Chart. Voila, your bar chart is ready. Next, pie charts. These are perfect for showing the proportions of a whole. Each slice of the pie represents a category, and the size corresponds to its proportion in the whole. To create a pie chart, select your data, go to Insert, then Pie Chart. And there you have it, a pie chart. And finally, line charts. They are best for showing trends over time, with data points connected by a line. To create a line chart, select your data, navigate to Insert, then Line Chart. And just like that, you have a line chart. Remember, the type of chart you choose should depend on what you want to convey with your data. And don't forget, you can customize your charts further by adding titles, labels, and adjusting colors to make your data even more clear and engaging. In conclusion, charts are not just about making your spreadsheet look pretty. They are a powerful tool that can bring your data to life, making it easier to understand, interpret, and communicate your findings. Charts can bring your data to life and make it easier to interpret. So, that was a quick tour of Microsoft Excel for beginners. We've covered a lot of ground today, and I'm sure you've absorbed a wealth of knowledge. Let's take a moment to recap the key points. We began with understanding the Excel interface, the backbone of your navigation through this powerful tool. Next, we dove into creating and saving a workbook, a fundamental step in managing your data. We then explored entering data, which is the foundation of all your Excel operations. This led us to basic formatting, a skill that will enhance the readability and presentation of your data. To empower you with the ability to manipulate and analyze your data, we covered basic formulas and functions. Lastly, we looked at charts, a powerful way to visualize your data. Remember, practice makes perfect. So start exploring Excel and happy spreadsheeting. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you've just taken that step today.